Hey folks, a little bit of bonus coverage for this month's Videocast. Talking to Antoine Wright from Mobile Ministry Magazine. Just finished doing the last Videocast here for the month of May, but wanted to highlight something, a little extra that's been happening since I haven't done this in a while. A quick little device review. I have here one device, bam, the Nexus 7 2013 tablet, and I also have here, yep, you get that right, Apple iPad Mini. Now here's a really interesting thing. I'm gonna give you the quick backstory. I had an iPad first gen. A lot of you guys were surprised about that, about me getting an iPad first gen. I kept that for a long time, and then earlier this year, my 2-year-old niece, whom I love extra dearly, I gave her the iPad because it was just something I needed to move on from. And I had the Kindle Fire HD, which didn't work out too well for me, so I picked up the Nexus to try and replace that to see if Android was actually a solid enough solution for me. Well, I found that, I needed to draw, and I didn't have really the drawing support I wanted, so I needed to invest in a new iPad. I got the iPad 4. iPad 4 was all well and good, even worked out for some contract engagements, but it didn't really work out because this Nexus decided to randomly reboot on me. It randomly reboots on me a lot. Enough that I had to replace it. So, I replaced it with this guy right here, which probably makes a lot of sense to you guys. I got me a Mini. I replaced the 4 with the Mini, saved a few bucks in the process, 16 gigs for both of these devices. These are really the, two top small tablets in their respective fields. And so here's some really quick impressions of what I like and what I don't like. First, about Android. A lot of folks will tell you they like the app selection. I could care less. App selection really doesn't matter to me. What I like best about this is that you can make this contextual. So you can turn this into a device that responds and bends to your will really, really easily. You can start by doing things with Google Now, but then you can download launchers. I was using Aviate, which I found that was part of the reasons why I was getting a lot of reboot. But you got a thing like Tasker, Everything.me. You got all types of different launchers that you can put on here that basically makes this tablet ready for you every time that you pick it up. Other tablets can't really do that as easily as with, at least non-Android tablets. You can't do that as easily with. That's very big bonus for me. Another bonus for me is that in the Android version of Evernote, because I use Evernote a good deal, you can draw right in the app. So you don't have to go to another app and then import your drawings in and then be able to write on top of things. Sketch, the Penultimate engine, all of that's built right into Evernote on the Android version. So that made another bonus for me. Other neat little bonus for me is the hardware. You see, I have decent sized hands. I'm 5'10". I've got normal dude hands. I'm not 6'12". I ain't got no big hands. I'm not 4'11". I don't have little hands. I got normal guy hands. The Nexus 7, it feels like a moleskin notebook. Really important when you want to pick up something and just go along the way with it. I really value about those aspects about the Nexus tablet. Now, the iPad Mini. I haven't had this as long because I've only had this for about a week. But again, this is another device here that has proven its weight. It too has that notebook feel, a little bit wider. But one of the really neat things about the way this thing feels is that it feels like it'll take a freaking load of punishment. As you notice, there's no case on this thing yet. I haven't got a case on it. It hasn't got any scratches on it just yet, thankfully. But this thing feels like it'll take a boatload of punishment that you'll throw at it. I really like that. The other thing that I like about Apple's products is that the applications that you get are applications that are usually very polished. I was playing with GarageBand last night. Hadn't played with that for a long time. Very polished. Just made me feel like a little kid again in building music, building myself up, with the text, the content on here. Now, one of the really neat and easy things for me is that I can go back and forth between both of these because I leverage Dropbox, I leverage Evernote, and then I have my own personal notebook that I run on a web server from the phone that I'm recording this on. So all of my stuff really works and works well for how I would like to do mobile. Okay? So those are the advantages. The disadvantages. Okay? Android is still clunky. The difference between maybe the Nokia phone that I'm using here, the Android device here, the Nexus device, and this iPad device is that the iPad and the N9 here, they feel like they were designed. They feel like that they were crafted devices, that there's no real issue in terms of, feeling like these are devices that are going to last a long time. This Android device feels like something I'm going to throw away. It feels so thin, actually, that I'm going to break it. It's not really weighted all that nicely. You know, the weight's actually pushed towards the bottom of it and not so much towards the top of it, so it can feel a little top or side heavy depending on how you hold it. And then the other thing is that Android really wants you to talk about it or use it in this landscape mode. And like the Microsoft Surface tablet, I hate that mode, mainly because you can hear it there because of the background car, but there's a little creaking sound going on there. I hate that. Alright. Disadvantages to the iPad. Every freaking accessory is expensive. I work on a limited budget. It's not like you guys are always, buying ads, or that, speaking engagements are so flush in mobile ministry that I can just turn around and buy a new Apple device every 2 seconds. But for example, all I was doing was just trying to look at a way to extend for some presentations coming up. And for the Apple side, I would have had to make $100 worth of purchases for just 2 connectors, one VGA, one HDMI. Seriously? Crazy. Now on the other side of that, an Android device, if I were to root this, then I could use a really excellent app called Mirror, if it works on here, in order to be able to share my screen. Chromecast does not exactly work on either of these, but at least I can go purchase for $20-30 Tron Smart T1000, little dongle about the size of a Chromecast that would allow me to not only cast this screen, anything that's on this screen, to the TV or to the projector, but I could cast everything, not just photos, not just videos. I can cast the whole screen. I'd have to be limited to getting either an Apple TV or an AirPlay certified dongle that will allow me to do pure iPad mirroring, because not everything does iPad mirroring. And okay, so that means I would have to have an Apple TV and a Chromecast and a Tron Smart just to be able to project. Now, sideways, on this Apple, I can at least use Idea Flight, and at least all of those folks that have iPad devices, I'd at least be able to share a presentation through LinkedIn with Dropbox, connecting all of that together. So there's an advantage there, but it's also a disadvantage because I got to make sure that everybody has Idea Flight. So, real quick, things that I like, things that I don't like, both of them. Excellent battery life, excellent portability, the kind of thing that you really value in a smaller tablet like this. Things that I don't like on the Android side, this thing crashes too randomly. When the next version of Android comes out, Play Store and all that good fun stuff is updated, I'm going to reset it again and see what happens from there. On this side, no real disadvantages just yet, except for the fact that I'm not using it as a daily driver. It's my drawing tablet. I'm using it along with a 53 pencil. Really neat little neat use right there. So I want to thank you for turning into this bonus coverage of the Mobile Ministry Magazine Videocast. Let's just call this a review. We won't even call this, a made videocast. Thanks for your time. If you want to check out some more reviews and devices like this, check me out at mobileministrymagazine.com. And look, not really ashamed to say, Twitter, Mobile Min Mag. Hit me up if there's something that you really want me to look at, take a look at device-wise or accessory-wise, something that makes a little bit of sense here. Because at the end of the day, Mobile Ministry Magazine is not just about the technology, but it's how this technology helps us do the work that is what we call ministry. Thanks for your time, and blessings to you and all. Peace.